Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the show that is cooler and fly to A1 Forever Sports. I am Chris Tip Moore, and as you can see, I have a very, very good panel on today talking about some Atlanta Braves. I know it may be a little strange to you because you're like, wait a minute, I'd be seeing y'all talk about some Falcons. Well, hey, man, we still Atlanta fans all the way through and through. And we're talking about these Atlanta Braves, man, and what they've been doing and what they've done today. And before we just get into it, you already know, got to shout out the guys on the panel. Introduce yourself, fellas, and just in case somebody doesn't know you out there.
Go ahead, Smitty.
Oh, I go first.
Yeah, man.
Well, y'all know me, man. Antoine Smith, man. I usually talk Falcon football, but like Chris said, man, I can switch it up. I can talk Hawks. I can talk Braves. And trust me, a hot start with the Braves, man. Sweep of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Wonderful.
They off to a great start, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Hello, everybody. I'm Terry Wilson. T. Will, as some of you guys know me. I typically talk Falcons football as well on One Time for the Fan, but I love the Braves as well, and I'm happy to be here on the show talking Braves. And thank you, Chris, for having me, and Smitty. It's always a pleasure to be on a podcast with you as well, and I'm interested to know this next gentleman. I don't think I've ever met him, so go right ahead, sir. I'm going to defer to you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, y'all, what you say? Well, yeah, man. So y'all that don't know me, man, my name is John from Out of Your Falcon Mind. We'll actually be on, Terry, with you guys on the 14th, I think.
Excellent.
So yeah,
Excellent.
we'll be on there, Mike and I. But yeah, y'all know, just like Smitty and just like Terry and Chris, we always talk Falcons. For those of you that watch the show, y'all know I'm a huge Braves fan. So yeah, me and Chris have been talking about doing a Braves show for about 3 months now.
Man,
So it's finally good to get, because our schedules are nuts. So it's finally
That's good.
Great to get on the show together, man. So
That's good.
Facts, man. Happy to have you guys on. But just like you guys were saying, man, Braves sweep the defending NL champs to move to 6-2. Chris Sale, he did his thing today. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, also 6 strikeouts. His stuff was looking good today. He was looking under control. Braves had 7 hits. Diamondbacks had 5. And the Diamondbacks also had an error as well. So, man, let me know what you guys think about it, man. The Braves bats, they do it again. You already know Austin Riley, Matt Olson, and of course, Money Mike, cash me out. You already know, helping with this 5-2 win. What are you guys' thoughts about this game, man, and just the Braves season in the early going?
We dealing with this elbow injury from Spencer Strider, and it's probably going to distract a lot of us. But if you look at what the Braves have overall as a team, it's going to be a big loss, but it's nothing that they can't overcome because they have the offense to keep them in any game, no matter what it is. They still have 2 guys in the minor, well, 2 or 3 guys on the 40-man roster, but they're in the minors. AJ Smith, Shaver, Bryce Elder, who was an all-star last year. So I think he will miss time. He may miss the season, who knows? But I think they can bounce back, man. I'm not really worried because this offense can put up points.
Indeed. What you think about today's win, fellas? It doesn't matter who.
Hey, go ahead, buddy.
Thank you. I think today's win was great. I think this entire series was great. Of course, with the exception of, Spencer Strider. But I think this series just really reinforces the fact that this offense shouldn't be afraid of anybody. Guys, we were down 5-2 in the first game. We were down 6-0 in the second game. And the pitcher that they had throwing is not just an also-ran. He's a good pitcher. But you know what the Braves do? They made him throw pitches. They made, they made him count. They wore him out. They wore him out in counts. They wore him down. They were aggressive. This offense is the type of offense that we can come behind from 9-0, 10-0. I mean, the sky's the limit with this offense. Now, make no mistake about it. Spencer Strider is a big loss. It's a big loss. But if there's anything that's good about it, it's early enough to where you can make some adjustments. Now, make no mistake about it. You're not going to replace Spencer Strider. You just don't. But hopefully, with the culmination of efforts. And when I say culmination of efforts, I'm talking about bringing up guys from the minors like Huascar Noah, like Dylan Dodd, like
Smith Shaw,
Bryce, right? AJ Smith Shawver, like Bryce. And maybe through a combined effort, we can get us through. You know, maybe we don't win 116 games. Maybe we only win 100. Maybe we win 95. At this point, it's just about getting into the dance, because once you do that, anything happens. Anything can happen.
Right.
So I'm not really worried about our trek and where we go as far as the playoffs is concerned. My concern is more so once you get there, are you going to have the horses to get you? And let's we not forget, we still have Max Freeman. We still have Charlie Morton. We still have Max Fried. So, you know, those are my thoughts. I will
Chris
defer. Go
Sale.
right ahead, sir.
what you got, John?
Chris Sale might be the sleeper of all of them, and he the oldest.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, a guy.
Yes, he
guy I
could.
got my eye on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's this weekend. If y'all didn't already know, you cannot be leaving games early. You can't turn your TV off early just because you get down. I mean, and it's cliche to say, but I mean, this offense literally, like Terry saying, it's like it's in every game. Like it doesn't matter what the score is; they can come back in any game. Also, I mean, they can put a 4-spot up like that because you got Jerry Kelenic, who's just out the gate smashing this year. When you got your 9-hole hitter at that, and you're setting up the top of your lineup with your 8 and 9 guys, I mean, that's hard to beat, man. So, and there's no like opposing pitchers can't look at the lineup and be like, okay, I can get an out there. They can't do that because this entire lineup is just full of guys, man, that can get on base or hit a home run, you know. And looking at, Strider sucks, man. Losing Strider, like, I mean, there's no way around it. It sucks and puts the health of the rest of the staff even more important.
Yes.
Now, you know, Sale's healthy, knock on wood, for now, and has been probably the healthiest he's been in the last few years. So that's got to keep it that way. Everybody else needs to stay that way. Max has got to get out of whatever he's doing. Like these first 2 games has not been the regular Max Fried. He knows that. He's just got to turn that around. But I was actually at the Rome game, the high A game on Friday night, and watched Owen Murphy pitch. So he was our first round pick in 2022. He was like Mr. Gatorade, high school, everything in Illinois. He went, and I know it's high A, but you know, man, Spencer went from low A all the way to the bigs in one season. So you never know. But this kid went 6 shutout innings, 8 Ks. Fastball sitting around 95. I mean, nasty curveball. He looked really, really good. So he could be a guy. And Hurston Waltrip, too, who's down in Mississippi, out of Florida. He could be somebody we bring up as well. But, man, just an awesome show. It's always great. I mean, when we won yesterday, I was like, okay, great. We got a series win. A series win's all I'm after every time.
There you go.
You win.
If we get a sweep, cherry on the top. Hey, if you win every series, you're going to be in a good spot into the season. So
Yep, you definitely will. And that's crazy. We and Terry, we was having a personal conversation, and we were saying that, hey, man, as long as you winning them series, and the Braves, that's something that they have been good at. Now I know the Braves, they have given up some runs, you know, in the first innings of the start of the season, but those bats, man, those bats, that 1 through 9, that's just impeccable right now, man. Anybody can go yard at any given time. Anybody can get hot at any given time. And technically, the Braves haven't lost a series. You know, so of course, starting this season.
Haven't. That's right.
I know they got the game that was postponed in Chicago, so some kind of way we still got to make that up. But just to come home, be undefeated in Atlanta, sweeping the defending National League champions, y'all, like that's a big deal. And I believe that's a big deal also because Strider, Fried struggling, but these bats, man, they uplifting. And I got to give a special shout out to Marcell Ozuna because he had a great game yesterday. If he doesn't do some of the things that he's doing in that game, it doesn't uplift these Braves to the victory. They come back in front of Braves country and send everybody home happy, excited, and looking forward to this season. And yes, we're talking about Spencer Strider, man. That Spencer Strider injury. He has a damaged UCL. He got placed on the 15-day IL, but it's feared that he's possibly going to have his second Tommy John surgery in 5 years. He is going to see Dr. Keith Meester, I believe his name is. And that's a guy. Yeah, and that's a guy who's done surgeries on guys like Jacob deGrom, Felix Bautista, and Jake Odorizzi, if you remember that guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Spencer Strider, man, he was the Braves ace. We already knew that. He got the ball opening day, so he was to set the tone for the season. Strider was definitely going to have Cy Young potential written all over him. He added that new curveball to the repertoire. The guy's 32-10 and 320 endings under his belt coming into the season, guys. But of course, broke John Smith's Smoke's strikeout record. And also, of course, we gave him that contract, 6 years, $75 million. And it was just 4 months into the big league as a starter. That thing is running through 2028. So he does have some time to come back. But guys, I really do not want to see it come across saying that he needs another Tommy John. I'm hoping that it's going to be one of those things to where he can possibly have a different remedy happen for him, maybe some rehab, some rest, and hopefully that will help out. But it's just the fact that he's already had it repaired once. That's what worries me. So, guys, I mean,
honestly, Chris, it is a big deal, but it's not a big of a deal as it once was, because this is happening. This will probably happen to every major league team, and it will be more and more common because guys are throwing harder, they're throwing faster, they're throwing with more effort on every pitch. The break on the curveballs are harder, and the elbow can only take so much. Let me tell you something. Yeah. I know y'all don't know this because y'all are not old. I'm old. I'm old as hell. I'm old enough. I'm old enough to remember when we played Little League, our pitchers could not throw curveballs before 12 years old. Now, I came up playing T-ball, 5 and 6, 6 and 7, 7 and 8, Gresham Park. Long live Gresham Park. The Gresham Park Rattlers. I don't know if you guys remember them, but
yeah, I'm old enough to remember that.
There you go. There you go.
Played there like 3 weeks ago.
There you go. But we were not allowed to throw curveballs because of the impact on the arm. Right? We played in the summertime. A lot of these kids are playing year round. They're in tournament ball. So by the time they get to high school, some of them are having UCLs and Tommy John surgeries then. It's common. Yeah. The good thing about Spencer Strider is a lot of his velocity doesn't just come from his arm. It comes from his legs. They call him Quadzilla, right?
Yep. One thing about it, that's where it comes from, though, man. That's where your power is at, your legs.
Right.
So go ahead, Terry.
No. That's okay. I think Spencer is going to be okay. I definitely, though, Chris, unfortunately, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but when you start to lose velocity, that's a pretty good indicator that he's going to have surgery. Now, if not,
he didn't look right the other night to me. Honestly,
he didn't. He
really didn't. I'm not just saying that. I was looking and I was just looking at his motion. I promise you, I've probably seen 4 pitches at the max from that game of Spencer Strider. And honestly, I was just like, man, I don't know. He just don't look right. He looked uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it comes out about the injury, and I'm just like, my goodness, man.
Yeah, it's been there, man. It's came over time. And like you said, second one, so it's nothing new. But if y'all know the history of baseball, all these velocity pitchers at some point, they end up having surgery on the elbow. You talk about guys like Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, all these guys, Pedro Martinez. So it's nothing new. But I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. Max Fried, $15 million arbitration win in the offseason, so he got his $15 million. So now it's time for him to earn a contract, stay even longer to probably finish his career as a Brave, because he'll soon be 31 years old, and he may be just one more contract before that's it. So if you want to stay in Atlanta, it's time to prove yourself, become the ace of this staff. And that's no slack to Chris Sale, because I know Chris Sale was in Boston, man. He was the man. But Max Fried, man, off to a bad start after 2 starts, 18 ERA is just not him. You remember back in 2019, 17-6. But had over a 4 ERA. Next season, what does he do? Almost win the Cy Young with a 7-0 record in a COVID-shortened season. So he has those ups and downs, but let's be real. If he's on top of his game, he can be one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball. Without
a doubt. If he, let me tell you something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick. We can't forget about, some of the people who we do it for, man. Definitely
yeah.
gotta give a shout out to the chat and see who's in here, man. And as right now we have over 30 people just watching us. We have Miss Pam. How you doing, Miss Pam? Shout out
Miss
to
Pam.
you.
Hey,
Yes,
Miss
it was
Pam.
definitely a great win, great series win. Bring out the brooms. You already know. The plug isn't plug walk. Mm, mm, You already know, Miss Carrie. How you doing? As
What's up,
always,
Carrie?
Miss
3
Carrie,
dirty.
3:30. What's
What's
happening,
going
bud?
on? What's going
North
on?
Carolina in the
Yep.
house.
We got Robert in the house. Love the sweep, indeed. We got always the opinionated Mr. Wallace Smith checking
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Wallace.
Oh, Wallace.
Yes. Michael, what it do? How you doing? Who else we got in here? Raymond Collins.
So,
Q
Raymond.
Laugh, what it do?
What's up, Q?
Drop the donuts, Raymond. Drop the donuts. You know what to do.
Uh-oh. And Michael says, crazy part about this offense is that nobody is in their hitting groove yet. This is just
That's
C-ball, hit ball offense.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Acuna,
very
Ozzy, and Austin haven't really been on it. I mean,
No,
it's been,
the thing about it is you got nothing from Albies, you got nothing from Arcia or Darno yesterday, and still was able to bring that comeback.
Yep.
It's up and down the
That goes
lineup.
back to your point again, John, what you said earlier about how deep this lineup is, 1 through 9.
Yeah, it's gross. I mean, in a great way. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
it's and when what Terry said too about just going back to like the injuries and stuff like that. I mean, yeah. So like my kid's 13, right? He'll be 14 next month. Been playing ball since he was 6 years old, and he's a pitcher. You know, and like he wants to be. That's what he wants to do. He wants to be a pitcher. He wants to be a PO. He's already decided that. He's not the hardest thrower on the team, and I actually like that. He commands his changeup really well. He commands his fastball. He's got a 2-seam fastball. He does throw a curve, but he throws it. It depends on the organizations too. There's some organizations, like Terry said, that does play year round, and they want you to. And it'll be like, you know, luckily the one we're in. I mean, they encourage kids to play other sports. They want them to play other sports. They want them to play football or basketball or soccer or something like that in the off season. We'll have tournaments in the fall, but it'll be for like 4 tournaments, and that's it. And so you're not continuing to stress these guys throughout the year. And then they also have arm care clinics. They have arm care clinics twice a week, all year round. So these kids can go and really work on protecting their arm and building their strength in their arm. And that's the thing.
Right.
You know, it's like
got to.
But thing, you know, he has friends. He's got multiple friends that's had little league elbow. He had a teammate this year throwing a slider, cracked his growth plate in his elbow. Right.
Wow.
And it's like, and the kid, he's a big kid. He's literally like, he's 6'2". He's bigger than me, and he's 13 years old.
Wow.
But so it's like his muscles just growing faster than his bones are. So like
Did it snap? Did it snap when he did it?
Yeah, it cracked. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Pressure. Yeah,
no, do you guys remember that happened to a pitcher for the Marlins twice? Some of you old Braves heads, I cannot think of his name.
Happened to
that happened to Dave Righetti too back in the day.
It did, but this guy was throwing for the Marlins, and it snapped. I mean, it was so loud, and it happened to him twice. I felt so bad for him because I think the first or the second game that he came back in, it happened again. But he had one of those violent deliveries where the elbow snaps back. And regarding your son's friend, it just snapped. Yeah. It just snapped. So, I mean, yeah, wow, man.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, and the doctor told him he could. I mean, basically put him in the cast for a few weeks, and he can actually start kind of lightly throwing again after it's just been basically sitting there for a little bit. But it's just that's the thing, man. Like, I mean, even like there's so many, I mean, kind of crappy youth coaches, to be honest, that just they value that power. They want those wins, so they want those guys that can throw hardest and get those strikeouts, you know. And so that just that continues on. So the value of, you know, your old Greg Maddux style, your Tom Glavine style, that's kind of went down the notches, and it sucks because those guys that can really pitch and really pitch,
famous right there.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're missing out on, you know. I mean, it's like give me the guy. Like I told my son, I was like, man, look, if you continue on down this road, like, you know, your velocity will, like, he's not that he throws slow. He's probably the third or fourth guy on the team, but he's not giving max effort every time. And that's fine. I was like, dude, if there's a spot in the game, you have to rear back and like get a few extra miles an hour, go ahead. But don't let that be every single fastball.
Yes.
Like, you know, work more on trying to really really look more on accuracy.
Locate.
And more really trying to locate.
Right.
And
Right.
Yeah. And that's and it drives, and look, that drives hitters crazy, man. Because he'll go up, they'll see him warm up like, okay, he's not the fastest thrower. Then all of a sudden it's roll over, pop up, ground ball, you know, because everything moves, nothing's straight.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what made Greg Maddux great, man.
That
Talking
movement.
about that control, control the entire strike zone, man. That's what made him great.
He can tell you about two
curve.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You're right, John.
Well, Greg had this pitch that he would throw that would literally start at your kneecap.
Yeah.
And by the time it got to the catcher's mitt, it clipped that half of an inch off the plate. And it drove guys crazy because if you look away, you think it's not a strike. But he had so much late movement, right? And that's what it's about. It's about late movement. If I can see movement before it happens, okay. But if you're talking about moving by the time you get to my knee, like a full 6 inches, ain't a lot I can do with that. And that was Greg's thing. But, you know, to your point, in today's game, it's about velocity. You know, guys throwing triple digits, 100 miles an hour. And the problem with that is you may get that, but the wear and tear that it's going to have on your elbow, I would imagine that Tommy John surgeries are up.
Oh, big time.
At least, you know, at least 20% from what they were 10 years ago. And it's just, it's, you know, I'm not going to say it's an issue in our game, but again, it's kind of like for every action, there's an opposite reaction. You want to see triple digits. You want to see guys throwing 98 miles an hour. You want to see guys big strikeouts. You're going to have these Tommy John surgeries. It just kind of goes along with the guys. But the other thing I wanted to talk about the Braves is their bullpen. Like you know, maybe first and second game, the efforts weren't great, but that bullpen was phenomenal. And I'm really excited about that. Right. And I'll tell you why.
Bullpen, MVP of the whole series, like Miss Pam just said.
Right. When it comes to October, right, you got to have starting pitching. You got to have guys that can hit a home run. It's good to steal a base, but you got to have guys that can hit. But you absolutely have to have a great bullpen. The year we won it in 2021, that bullpen was lights out. What they call them, the night shift? They were lights out.
Right there now.
Absolutely lights out. And I think that the bullpen that we have this year, I'm a knock on wood, but I think they're better than the one that we had in 2021. So I feel like we'll be okay. You know, I feel like we'll be okay. But Chris, I'll defer to you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, first of all, Braves fans and Falcon fans alike, make sure you guys like and subscribe to these channels, man. Smitty 10K, John Audio Falcon Mind. Shout out to Mike as well. Hopefully you out there doing well. T Will, as you know, he's on One Time with the Fan. Shout out to Spade. That boy Jack, you already know as well. So,
Jack Spade.
This is just some great stuff, man, that we got going on here. And we're going to continue to be talking, like, you know, some Braves. We got to give you that kind of content as well, as we're all fans of the Braves. So, you know, this is definitely going to come some more. But, guys, I got a question for you. Matt Olson, over or under that he wins the home run title again?
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over because guess what? You got Unk behind him. You got Big Unk behind him. That's Marcell Ozuna. They call him Unk, but
the Big Bear.
But it, you know, as long as you got the Big Bear protecting him, he's gonna continue to get fastballs.
Yeah,
he's gonna continue to get pitches to hit.
You know, Ozuna, he up and down like a roller coaster sometimes. So
I see. Let me tell you something.
He got better toward the end of last year for sure.
He did. And I think something has changed about Ozuna. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and predict he's gonna hit 40 this year, no problem. 100 RBIs, and I don't think that you're gonna have that low. He figured something out. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened, but
Probably work with it.
I'm
Probably work with a hidden coach.
probably he figured something out. But and yeah, I would say Matt Olson hits at least what he hit last year, 50, 52, 53?
52.
I thought he like 50. I thought 54. He didn't get like 54.
It could have been 54. It could have been 54.
It could have been. I know it was over 50.
But I believe he got 54.
Yeah, 54 because Andrew had 51. So yeah, it was it's 54.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he hits 55. Yeah, I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take the over.
My
fellas,
man,
what say you?
60. My man said RJ the plug said 60 for that.
I go over 50, so I go 52. I go a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's over 50 for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he can get that 55 mark. I mean, that right field is so enticing for left-handers, man. Like he can get that. The one he had out in I think it was at Philly. It looked like a long pop-up. And it was just it barely
just kept going.
It just kept going. I'm like, damn. All right. Well, so yeah, he's got it. And Ozuna, man, he may just, you can tell both those guys if they're going opposite field, then they're right. Then they're right.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
And I think Ozuna might have just, if y'all remember, like Ozuna early, even last year, still like he don't get cheated with his swings, man. Like he's trying to murder somebody.
He's trying to murder every time.
Yeah. So I think maybe he's kind of like, let me control this a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's, he's not all or nothing like he was. Maybe there's still some swings that he's like that, but I agree. 50 plus for sure.
Yeah, I'm going with the over with just him being the home run champion. Period. And I think he can get. Yeah, I think he'll get less than what he got last year, maybe around in the 50 mark, maybe 50, 51. But I believe he's going to have more RBIs. I think he'll have more total bases this year, just from doubles and singles and just getting hits. I think he'll have more hits and possibly more RBIs this season. And but he's still going to get up there as far as homers, man. He hasn't even begun yet. He hasn't even begun yet, should I say? But I can definitely see.
And dude, the sneaky deal of the offseason may be Jared Kelenic if he can keep this up,
bro.
You added a very good defensive left fielder as well, which we haven't had in a while. Let's be honest. And if he can keep hitting like this, man, I mean, I know it's obviously that's not going to happen. He's not going to hit 600 for the entire year, but I mean, if he can just like he just made Sites just made one small adjustment. He moved his hands down. And he said,
"Come on, that's all it takes."
That's it. Sometimes that's it. And dude, he talked about Seattle. Like he was the guy or one of the guys there. He brought up kind of early, a lot of pressure on him. You're hitting 9 here, buddy. You're hitting 9th here, and you got no pressure. You got
no pressure at all.
Around. You go out there, and you figure out what's best for you, how your game is going to be, and then let it fall into place. And that's what he's doing, man. I love it. I'm so happy for him, man.
And Kelenic, he's playing free. You can definitely tell.
Absolutely.
He's reached the base safely in all 8 games of the Braves this year. He has 11 hits out of 19 at bats, 14 total bases, batting a 579 average right now with a 619.
Say that again.
He's 579.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
And the thing about it is, it went down today. It was higher than this. That's what I'm saying. And then he also had an OBP of 619. And the numbers just continue to get better and better as you just look at his numbers right now. He is basically just saying, "Hey, y'all don't worry about spring training. I had to work some things out. We got it fixed out right now. I'm playing free. I'm batting 9th, and I'm bringing in runs. I'm producing." And he's just been stellar. Some of the things you just think about it, if it doesn't happen, we lose some of those games.
100%.
I'm just saying. And we possibly lose because
these bats are so talented.
These bats are so talented. We possibly lose.
That catch he made a couple of games ago, man. I did not think he had a shot.
Me either.
And just the defensively alone, what he adds to us, we really have no weaknesses. Because, fellas, that offense, that infield is pretty darn good. And now we have an outfield that's just as good. I mean, obviously Michael Harris is a superstar in center field. We know Mr. Ronald Acuna and what he can do, but Mr. Kelenic, let me tell you something, boys. we got a squad. We have an
Crazy
absolute squad.
thing is, I think
And-
Michael Harris gonna battle Andrew Jones' record for Golden Gloves. I
He
just
might.
see it.
Hey,
just might.
he's that talented though. Michael Harris II is
That
a
says a
talented
lot. That
outfielder.
says a lot.
He's talented.
He still has some more growing to do,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I believe like the raw talent is there to
Mhm.
possibly be in the outfield Andrew Jones type. It's like you can
He's
see it,
talented.
it's there. He's got flashes, but
Oh,
he
he
still has to
definitely
grow some
does.
more, of course, as a player.
No, he's definitely talented.
Andrew was ridiculous out there.
Andrew was the
almost
GOAT
a
out there.
guarantee out if he was anywhere in the vicinity of the ball.
Oh,
And
yeah.
let me tell you something. And the thing about Andrew is Andrew played up, but he could go back on the ball better than anybody. But he cheated up. So those little dink singles, he would take them away. Right.
Mhm.
My father and I would argue because he would say that Willie Mays was the greatest center fielder he ever saw. And I was like, well, I didn't see Willie Mays play, but I see Andrew Jones play every night. And I don't know. And we go back and forth. But I mean, that's, hey, man, if you know, those are tall shoes to fill. So, I mean, if Mr. Harris is going to supplant Mr. Jones, that's quite a statement, man. That's quite. I mean, I think Michael Harris is great, but
he played just that well on defense.
Yeah, he's well. I tell you what, that play against Philadelphia in the playoffs last year, that got me fired up, man. That's one of the greatest plays, especially in the playoffs for a Brave I've seen in a while. So, yeah,
Thanks.
but we'll see. You know, that remains to be seen.
And on the infield, man, Riley, he really wants that Gold Glove. He cut like what 10, 15 pounds in the offseason so he could move a little freer over there.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yes, he did.
I ain't gonna lie. I think it's gonna pay off for him too. It's already
and that play to end the game last night from Arcia,
bro.
Man.
That's who I want to talk about, Mr. Arcia. Sir, have you seen him? Because he made 2 of those plays last night. Like, and that arm is a rocket. Okay, that's Arcia.
He spun and let it rip.
It
was all the money.
Let me tell you something. I think Arcia, knock on wood, if he stays healthy, is going to have a big year because to me, it's like it's coming into place for him. You know what I mean? I really see Braves made a very wise decision and a wise investment in keeping him. And I think they're really going to see the fruits of those returns this year because I just think he's phenomenal. I think he's having a great year. I think his offense is going to continue to improve. And defensively, I don't know that we've seen the best that he has to offer yet because I just think he's just going to get better and better. He made 2 of those plays in the hole, rocket balls, turning around, throwing them dead red on the money. So, yeah, man, I just, dude, I'm just excited about our team. You know, I think
we got a bunch of killers over here, man.
We got some stud. No. How do we say we have some dogs?
Yeah,
we got some dogs.
Hey,
that we do.
That's why I'm saying, like, that's another thing. I was never worried about the bats. I've never been worried about the bats. It's just since before the trade deadline last year, I was just worried about the pitching. Now I can definitely say the pitching is, especially the bullpen, is better than last year. But it's just, of course, you know, you want to have your your pitching, you know, healthy. So again, with this Strider, it's a big loss, regardless to because it makes your whole clubhouse really have to alter a lot of things that they do. But it's just thank goodness we have these bats, and we know we have the New York Mets coming into town, fellas. You know, our buddies from New York.
A little rocky start for those guys.
A
little rocky start for those guys.
Yeah, to say the least. They got Julio Teheran tomorrow. Teheran, however you say it. They have him going tomorrow night, and we have Charlie Morton, the ageless wonder. You know, going
looked great in his first start, man. Looked great.
Yeah, man. The thing about it is Charlie, I don't know what fountain of youth he's drinking out of, but the guy, he's a great pitcher. Yeah, he still has good command on his ball on the pitches and everything like that. Pause. But he has great command on his pitches. And honestly, the thing about it is we don't know what he's going to do at the end of the year too.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if he's going to finally retire, if he's going to walk away. Then you also have Max Fried. You got to see what he's going to do with him at the end of the year. So that's another thing I'm thinking about when I also think about Spencer Strider and him possibly going for not only for the remainder of this year, but possibly some of next year, depending on how he heals, all that rehab. It all depends. Everyone heals differently.
Yeah,
He's still young,
way
so
different.
yeah, he's still young, so he may heal just a little bit faster.
Yeah, a little bit. What you were saying, John?
So yeah, your 1 through 3 guys could be non-existent next year. I mean, if you let Max hit free agency, there's a solid chance he's not coming back. And I honestly thought if they were going to keep Max long term, they would have done it in this offseason. I mean, I don't know. I just think that hopefully some of the younger guys that we have down in AAA, AA take that step up this year. We can bring them up, but yeah, I mean, it's I can't see Charlie. He could surprise me, but I couldn't see him come back with another year. Like, it just seems like this might be like especially if we go out on top. Let's just hope, pray everything that we go.
Oh yeah, we go out on top. He gone.
He gone. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. LAJ, what up, buddy?
Appreciate you, LAJ. I'm a Dodgers fan because I'm from LA. I thought we were getting a surprise episode of Out of Your Falcon Mind / Spitty Sports. I'm still going to smash the like and leave it running for y'all. I really appreciate that.
Oh, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely appreciate that. Yeah, man. We just coming in doing some Braves material because we're all Braves fans as well as Falcons fans. So, we just came together and was like, hey, why not? Why not? Let's talk some Braves, man. So the Arcia gave me flashbacks of Swanson.
Yeah, he did.
Finding his niche.
Yep.
Hey, man, sure enough, that's some real talk right there.
Yeah.
And Raymond Collins too. Charlie, last name. Oh, my bad. Charlie, last name Morton.
That's nice.
Yeah, man, that was my audition for Southern Silk. Holla at your boy. A1 Forever Sports. Chris Tipmore.
We need a soundboard.
You're gonna be back there with me background dancing.
Hey, that's all good. As long as I'm in the show, baby.
Hey,
I'm already playing bass, so we're good. I gotta open my mouth, so we're good.
Hey, there we go. But wait a minute. Terry, what you doing?
I'm you guys' manager, man. I'm old.
Yeah,
I'm
perfect.
I'm collecting tickets. I'm collecting tickets, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
But
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. If Bryce Elder can go back to where he was all-star form last year, I think Spencer can rest for the year because you get a Bryce Elder that's pitched pretty good last year, but spring training this year, ooh boy,
man,
8.25 ERA, 2-1.
He's that
12 innings, 11 runs. That just didn't sit right with me. So if you get that all-star Bryce Elder, hey, we fine.
Yeah, he's that type. He's that type of non-power pitcher where if he misses his spot, it's going to be
going a long way.
Bro, it's going a long way.
Right.
Yeah. I like Bryce in the bullpen. I mean, I'm not knocking on the man, but I really would love him in the bullpen because he would be I feel like he would be so dominant, and that's all he have to worry about. Man, he would be killer. But of course, we don't have the farm system. We're not necessarily spending the money on pitching. Why? Because guess what? We're still paying guys. You remember those bats, those good old bats? Some of those contracts are kicking in. So, we also got to think about how we're paying our bats. And sometimes, when you're paying one thing, something's going to lack in other places. That's why it's always great to have quality type players in those positions to be able to fill out the roster, something that AA has been doing.
Because Cease and Snell, I just knew they were gonna go after one of those guys this off season. But hey, like you said, it was a certain amount they wanted to spend. So I get it.
Well, I just think the Braves fundamentally don't believe in paying a pitcher past a certain amount of his age, right? That's why they continuously draft pitching. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I love Max Fried. I don't think he's gonna be back. And I don't think he's going to be back for two reasons. Number one, he is a, what do you call him? He has a position with the union. I don't know what you call it, but he's in a leadership position in the union. And typically those union guys, you have to go for the next biggest contract because you represent the union. So it's a bad look if you go out here and give the Braves a discount. And, Fried is what, 30? 31.
Yeah,
So
31.
if he wants a 6-year deal, you're talking about 37, 38. For what it would take to get him, the Braves are not going to
Yeah, it'd
pay
be
him that.
160 easily.
Oh no, I think
1,000.
$180.
I think Freed's going to get at least 200 million.
Wow.
I think Freed's going to get at least 200, at least
Yeah,
that,
so that
right?
yeah, so that's
Because
over 30 million a year.
The
Right,
markets,
exactly.
and then how the market is,
exactly,
it's possible.
exactly.
Definitely possible.
Which is why this year they signed Chris Sale and redid his contract to give him another year because they knew they were going to lose Freed. Now, Freed could surprise us all and take a hometown discount. I just don't see that happening. I just don't. It would be outstanding. I would say book the World Series next year, but I just don't think with him he's from California, right? So that's Dodgers. Dodgers have
I already see where you're going.
That's
I already
money to
know.
burn. He is in a leadership position with the union role, and so they're going to put pressure on him to get a big deal, right? Because you got to think these and I. Again, I'm not attacking unions. I don't want anyone to take it that way. I'm not saying that. Get your money, man. But there's some players.
I have thought about Freed right here. He is pretty streaky. He can be a streaky pitcher. We don't seen times where in the past where Freed was like, man, we need you to have. We gotta have it from you, and we just didn't get it in that particular time. And then other times, of course, like in the World Series, he would show up, and we sure needed him to show up in that time, in the biggest stage of them all.
We did.
But I understand what you're saying, though, Terry. I mean, you're absolutely right from your logical thinking of it. It's a great possibility we may not have Max Fried here. And if we don't, and then he ends up going to not necessarily the Dodgers. I mean, you never know. Maybe he'll end up out there with Ron Washington.
He could.
I'm just saying, hey,
that's a good point.
You never know. Maybe he could end up out there. But I would love to keep Max Fried just to keep that core intact. That's the most important thing I'm trying to keep together. Because I believe that the Braves still, even present day, have at least about 5 more years just of clear window of competing.
They do.
I mean, we're agreed on that. Does anybody think it's a little less, a little more?
No, I agree with you. I think it's at least 5 years. I think it's at least 5 years.
So that's what I'm saying. We have to capitalize on our opportunities as much as we possibly can. Because one thing that we all are Braves fans can remember, those times of having those great seasons and not being able to capitalize. Those were some dark days having all these stats. And like I remember I was telling Terry, I was like, hey, if people that didn't know about baseball look at the Braves record just over the years, you would think we have more than 4 championships.
Oh yeah.
And so.
Like 96 still hurts me to my soul.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something.
I hate to talk about that.
if Wohlers just throws a fastball instead of that split finger, I mean, why would you throw your 3rd worst pitch there? But let me tell you something. We should have won in 91 because I don't care what anybody says. Urbeck threw Ron Gann off that base. Did. And if Lionel Smith
a home run and next pitch.
No.
Lonnie
Smith. If he doesn't get deked, get deked going around second, we win that World Series.
Yep.
He got deked and we didn't score, and then it went into extra innings. But bottom line is, hey man, we did go to 5 World Series in the 90s. We only won 1, but we did go. And the thing about it is, it's difficult to win, man. It's difficult. There are so many teams that don't perpetually win divisions, that don't perpetually go to championships, and it begs the question: would you rather be the Marlins, who won it in 97? That's exactly
what I would just finna go with.
and won it in 2003. I mean, they do have 2 championships, but in between those championships, they suck big donkey hooters. So who would you?
I think that's for Ron Acuna too.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. I mean, and guys,
would you rather be the Nationals?
Not at all.
I'll pass.
Not at all. Not in the least. Not in the least.
So it's just like it's really no team in our division that you'd rather be other than the Atlanta Braves. So it's just we got to start capitalizing on our opportunities. And that's one thing I know, talking to other Braves fans just off camera and everything, that is a topic of conversation. And especially when the players coming into the season put so much pressure upon themselves, saying that, hey, this is World Series of bust. The players come out and say that. So you already know that's crazy pressure. And
Yeah.
we can't afford to really be having injuries and everything try to derail that, because people will try to fall back on that. But regardless, you're gonna have others that saying, "Hey, it was World Series or bust. Injuries are a part of the game. Where your title at?" So we also got to be ready for both sides.
I think everything is relative, right? I mean,
Right?
the bottom line is the year we won it, Acuna was injured. So,
Indeed.
now I'm not saying I want to relive that. Let me knock on wood.
Absolutely
Thank you,
not.
Jesus. Please keep
Never
him healthy.
again.
But
Never
you know,
again.
with that being said, guys, we have a very good bullpen. We have a very good 4 other pitchers. Lest we not forget Lopez, Reynaldo Lopez
Ronaldo
Yeah,
Lopez.
really good.
is a really good pitcher. And the thing about him is he became a reliever, but what ended up happening is he had LASIK eye surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ever since he had LASIK eye surgery, now that he can see, he's been dominant. I think he's going to be I think we have a good core 4, right? We have, and we're going to have to move the rotation around. But let me tell you something. Elder could be the guy. And I say Elder could
Yeah, I
be the
think
guy
so.
because
Long term.
Snit was saying basically in the second half he just got tired. You got to think he was in the minor leagues before last year. It's a different playing that 162, brother. Let me tell you something.
Better believe it.
It's a difference. Okay. And so I think he got tired, and maybe the league adjusted to him. You don't know if he was tipping his pitches. You don't go from having a 1-something ERA to an 8-something ERA and something not happen. Now, we won't know. But I don't feel like he's as bad as people think. I don't feel like he's as good as people think, but we don't need him to be. All we need him to be now is a 5th starter. We can move Max Fried up. We can move Chris Sale up. We can move Charlie Morton up. We can move Reynaldo Lopez, and Elder can be your 5th starter. Or you can look at AJ, AJ Smith-Shaw.
Yeah, you can rotate that 5th.
Exactly.
You can.
And that's where I was going. Where I was going.
It's not like we haven't done it before, fellas.
Yes. Yes.
You just ride the hot hand, man.
Yeah, and Ronaldo, he did have a great start, 5 strikeouts in 6 innings, 1.5 ERA. I would like to see he is going to give it a go in game 2 against the Mets coming up in this upcoming 4-game series. So yeah, it's going to be, I want to see what he's going to look like, his first 3 starts, try to see what his consistency level is, and go from there. But yeah, I like him though, man. I think he doesn't have to be a world beater. You just need to come in and do your job.
Now, guys, I want to ask you a question because Chris and I talked about this and it bothered me. No, it wasn't a disagreement between Chris and I. Chris, you know where I'm going. But we talked about this and I just want to get you guys' opinion. Okay. There's no right or wrong answer. I just really want to get your opinion, and I want to get the fans' opinion. So last year, as you know, Braves and Phillies went back and forth, and I hate the Phillies, by the way, and I just needed to put that out there. They suck perpetually, and I hate them, and I just want it on record. I hate the Phillies. There, I said it. Okay, so we play the Phillies. Game 2, Michael Harris goes up, makes that outstanding catch, turns around, throws it. Austin Riley catches it, flings it to first base, and Bryce Harper is doubled up, right? The game ends. Beautiful. After that, the media was in our clubhouse, and I think Orlando Arcia said, "Oh yeah, Harper, good something," or whatever comment he made. It was just a comment like, basically, I'm glad he messed up. I'm glad he did what he did. The end. He didn't talk about anybody's mama. He didn't talk about anybody's kids. It wasn't a denigrating comment. It was just a comment. Those of you who watch the playoffs know the next game and the game after that, when Harper hit a home run, he goes around second base and stares down Orlando Arcia. And we did nothing about it. Now, let me tell you something. I'm old school. Okay? I'm old school, baby. I did not like that. Let me tell you something. If Mr. Brian McCann had been on our roster that day, okay, Bryce Harper wouldn't have crossed the plate. Mr. Brian McCann would have been waiting for him at home plate like, what is this? Okay, so I didn't like it. I'm wondering if we're going to do something about it. I just want to know what y'all think about it. And I'm gonna open it up to the panel. What did you guys think about that? And do you think we should do anything like, I don't know, the next time we see Mr. Harper, put him on his rear? Go ahead, gentlemen. Your thoughts.
I'm all for it. I'm just as old school as you are, man, when it comes to that. Like that's, I mean, that's just always been the game, man. You let the players let police themselves, essentially.
Yes.
Like next time is up, put it in the small of his back, put it in his rear.
You go.
Like
there you go.
All right, dude. All right, now you're good. You know, I mean, like it was hilarious to watch Julio Teheran and Harper early in their career go back and forth. I mean, Harper, he would jaw Julio would hit him. You know, but like nowadays, man, it's like pitchers can't even hit guys anymore.
Yeah.
They miss. They go behind them. They go over their head. They go like they can't even like. It's sad, but
the reason why they do that, John, you know what it is. They'll get in trouble. Back in the day, you can knock somebody's head off and it just go to the next game. But I think it's a mentality, man. If they say something back and show that they're not scared of them, I think the series goes a whole nother way.
Thank you.
Sometimes, sometimes toughness can show what a team made of. And they really didn't have that Draymond Green type guy on the field at that moment. So it just, to me, it just killed us mentally.
It did.
Sometimes when he hit that home run, that just instantly changed the momentum. And momentum is what's key in the postseason. So when he got the momentum with that home run, I said, man, it's over with.
It's over. I just knew it. You can see it. Yeah,
man. It was demoralizing. You know, our morale wasn't there, man. It was a sad puppy. It was a sad puppy out there, man. And I didn't like it. I still don't like it.
I don't.
It's it's over and done with.
I'm still bad
about
like it. I'm still bad about it.
You know, because it's one of those things to where you just want to come through your TV or you want to come through the radio as they're illustrating what's going on and what's happening. You're like, hold on, he did what? Hold on, say what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're ready to jump out there and defend Orlando as someone who was just making a joke. But that's what Philly fans do. You know, they take whatever they possibly can and try to use it as fuel, because they need something negative to feed off of, or at least something that they see negative. And I can't stand Philly fans as far as like their fandom. They just fan different, and that's fine. But you know, you keep that over there, and you know, so keep on losing to us, and you know, some by the way, you know, just
let me tell you something. That was a what you say about my mama moment. Okay, well, that was a what you say about my It offended me to my core, and what offended me was we did not respond. Because I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah,
had Chipper Jones been on that field, you wouldn't have done that. You would have done it. You wouldn't even got past third base. Okay, had Mr. Brian McCann been on that field, you no. But go ahead. You about to say something? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I need you fine. No, I mean, I was like, that's happened, and I love Snit, but I mean, that's happened multiple times where you're like, can we not do? Can we throw inside even? Like, can we like brush them off the plate? Like anything? Like, we don't have to like. I mean, just something, you know, to be like, okay, you know, we didn't like that, and this is, you know, we're going to do this, you know. But yeah, I mean, I missed that part of the game, to be honest with you, because I mean, it makes it entertaining, man, and it you know, it shows other teams like, okay, these boys are for real. Like, you know, like, we can't mess with these guys. Like, you know, I mean, so I got no problem with it, man. I love it. I miss it.
Hey, look, man, I'm not saying you have to do that in every scenario.
No, of course not.
This dude hit a home run, pimp walk around second base, and looked at you like, I dare you to say something. Yeah. He punked you, and nobody did anything. No, because the dudes I grew up with. Okay, Bryce, the next time you get up to bat, you're gonna be on your rear. You're gonna be on your, even if you take a walk, every pitch you see, I'm knocking you on your rear, because I'm gonna let you know, don't do that again. Don't do that. I mean, look, I don't care if you stare at the home run. I don't care if you bat flip. But you're not gonna go around second base and trying to intimidate my guy. No, bro, it's going down. It's. I'm sorry. We gonna have to get an understanding. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now because I'm still mad about it. It's coming out.
But man, he still got big pressure about it. You better believe. Hey, but like I said, I don't like it either. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you know, it's really like water under the bridge, spilled milk, whatever analogy you want to use.
Yeah.
But I just say, if it happens again, if it was some kind of weird way to happen again, we do have to respond in the moment and not later on.
Got to.
You know, if we're gonna go that route.
Got to.
And stuff like that. But fellas, man, we have almost been here a whole hour. Terry, I know you got a show to get ready for as well.
Yes, sir.
And everything. So I mean, we're going to get ready to bring this to an abrupt halt. But in the meantime, of course, fellas, please, by all means, share your platforms to everyone so they can find you guys if they ain't already.
Yeah, man, y'all can find Mike and I at Out of Your Falcon Mind, man. We'll be back live, I think, Tuesday night. It changed, as y'all know, it changes weekly with my kids' baseball schedule. So I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday night this week around 8 o'clock. And then again, we'll be on with one time this coming Sunday on the 14th. Looking forward to that because it's been a bit since Terry, we were on with Jack and Bodie like probably. Oh, it's probably halfway through last season. It's been a while. It's been too long, so it'll be good to get back on with you guys. But you guys can check us out there. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We much appreciate it, and you can follow Mike. Mike does most of our TikTok, so you can follow him Out of Your Falcon Mind. It's pretty hilarious, so y'all can check that out.
He's good stuff over there.
He's a comedian. So that's it, man. So we appreciate y'all checking us out and talking some Braves tonight, man.
Definitely, man. Hey, number one, I'm looking forward to seeing you again on the 14th. I'm excited about it, and thank you for sharing this space with me, brother Chris. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No thanks.
I'm on One Time for the Fan in about 15 minutes, 14 now. So looking forward to that show. We got some interesting things to talk about. And fellas, hey, man, anytime I get an opportunity to talk about my Braves or Falcons, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour, it was time well spent. I hope we can do this again, Chris. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. And hey, if you want to do it again, I am here. Chris, this is your show. I'm going to defer to you, sir. Go right ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank the chat. And I want to thank you guys for sharing this to you guys' channels as well, bringing in your audience. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your Sundays to come on in here and talk some Braves with your boy, old A1. And I really appreciate you guys. Shout out to Smitty, who also, he had to bounce out. He had some other things he had to take care of. But shout out to him as well for coming on to the show. Shout out to our brother Berto, who is currently at WrestleMania doing his thing. And I know he's going to have a lot of pictures, a lot of things to talk about when he gets back. Shout out to the brother. And again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to Atlanta Braves. We are 6-2. Pushing forward to this World Series. Going to be a long season, though. Long season. So we'll see what happens. You guys stay tuned. And until next time, be generational because it's always time to be. Don't you settle for less because you can always have more with the vision. And come on back to the show that's cool and fly to A1 Forever Sports with your man Chris Tip Moore. Out of Your Falcon Mind. One Time for the Fan. We'll holler.
All right.